mean, Thierry Henry, I think, maybe is most likely to step down. He's done that before on days like this, and he'll maybe play Wiltord and Bergkamp up the front. As for Blackburn, it's interesting you were talking there, or Gerald Sinstadt was, to Alan Mahon. He's the only one of the likely Blackburn starting lineup not to have played in the Premiership at some time in his career. So, just talking about a nationwide club here with Blackburn Rovers, you're talking about a team who are packed with experience, and that also includes, of course, in the squad, Mark Hughes, even though I think it's more likely that he may start on the bench and that Souness may put Matt Jansen and Marcus Bent up the front to start with.
Motty, looking at the team sheets and who might play and looking at the tie overall, what do you think will be the style of the game this afternoon?
Well, there's a feeling here at Highbury that the last thing Arsenal want is a replay, Ray, because it would give them terrible fixture congestion, and Blackburn don't want one either because their priority is promotion, as you know, to the Premiership. So if the game is level with about half an hour to go this afternoon, I think you'll see both sides really go for it, and that's why I think we're in for quite a cup tie here. It's got the makings of a very good game, I think, and Blackburn, by the way, haven't been to a semi-final since 1960, the last time they got to the cup final itself, so there's a big incentive for them.
Motty, hang around with us if you will. Have a listen and a watch to this. Loro, Sylvain Wiltord has scored in all the rounds so far. He's obviously took his time to settle, but Arsene Wenger always said when players settle like the quality of Wiltord, they'll deliver the goods eventually.
But to be honest with you, Ray, I think when Thierry Henry came to the club as well, it took him a long time to settle. It's the same kind of thing. I was at that game at QPR where they demolished Queen's Park Rangers. He's got a hat-trick the other week in the Premier League against West Ham. He's been played kind of wide left, wide right. He hasn't played that many games through the centre, and I think that's the probably important thing, is when he played him through the centre against West Ham, when he got his hat-trick, he looked more like the Wiltord that I think Arsene Wenger thought he bought in the summer. But, I mean, the programme wouldn't be the same without a Motty start, would it? Hey? The Mahon, Alan Mahon statistic from Motson. Only him could come up with that.
Motty, who's the only player to have scored in every round of late?
In every round of late? Well, that was Wiltord, wasn't it? The one I thought you were going to ask me the last player to score in every round, including the final, Ray. I'm sure you know the answer to that one, don't you?
I've no idea, Motty, but I think you might.
Any Chelsea fan will tell you that was Peter Osgood, mate. But I must just tell you, Ray, there's another little line there that not so much racing around today, as Steve Ryder said, but if you're looking for a good bet this afternoon, I was on Beat the Bookie last night on the Radio 5 live spot with Ricky George, and he worked out that if all 4 FA Cup quarter-finals end in a draw this weekend, the accumulated odds for that bet are 252 to 1.
Motty, thanks a lot. Well, go and put a tenner on for me, will you?
Definitely, yeah.
Motty, have a good afternoon.
Thanks very much, Ray. Thank you.
His afternoon's already started, I think.
Kurt, there's no chance of that, is there?
I would have thought so.
No.
I would have thought so. I think that you know, I'm looking at perhaps a possible upset, and I don't think it's going to be at Highbury or Leicester.
Arsenal have got such quality, haven't they? Arsenal have got such quality in their squad, but then, you know, we say it every week, and it's the best to say it, that you never know in the FA Cup. You never quite know.
I think that's shown so far this season. There's been some real upsets, and some of the games have not gone true to form, but I think Arsenal at home, it's going to be a tough game for Blackburn today.
Thanks, Alan. Plenty more on the FA Cup to come, but just to spell out the situation Arsenal find themselves in vis-à-vis the Champions League. In the light of last Tuesday's results, winning at Bayern Munich will guarantee a quarter-final place. Draw might be enough, maybe not. Arsenal could lose and still go through, but they can't rely on Lyon losing in Moscow.
Both on the bench for Arsenal today. Luzhny and Wiltord will start. Maybe Arsene Wenger just pointing up his priorities. They go to Bayern next week, of course, and need a result. Blackburn, remember those goals that Craig Hignett got during the week against Bolton Wanderers? On the substitutes bench today, alongside Damien Duff. John Curtis, who was rested in midweek, and Henning Berg, they both returned to the starting lineup, and so too does David Dunn. Now, it's been a good week for Blackburn, of course, this week, and an especially good week for David Dunn, even though he missed that 5th-round replay win over Bolton in midweek. Dunn has been voted the Cisco Young Player of the Month for February by a panel of Bobby Robson, Mick McCarthy and Laurie McMenemy. And there could be more trophies to follow this season for Dunn and company at Blackburn. Bench.
Doesn't surprise me at all, Jeff. I think Arsene Wenger is an absolutely brilliant football manager. I think he knows where his priority lie. Top 3 in the Premiership and Europe, that's his focus. And if he loses the game, I don't think he'll be that upset. I really don't. And
why, Rod? Do you not think it's so important for him to get some silverware this season?
It's only my opinion, Charlie. I just think that when you look at the top teams, we saw it earlier in the year when Manchester United played a weakened team in the FA Cup. Arsene Wenger did the same thing. Arsenal have got through, United haven't. I honestly feel that he won't be too... If he was, why would he leave his best midfield player and his best striker on the bench?
It's a risky business, though, isn't it, Rob? Because if they were to lose today, if it was to backfire today, and things went badly for them in Munich next week, you know, they could be left potless at the end of the season.
They absolutely could, Jeff, but what I'm saying is I think he's prioritised what he wants. Can anybody explain to me, if he wants to win this game, why has he put Patrick Vieira and Henry on the bench?
Well, I can understand Henry. I can understand Henry because
he's best goal scorer.
Yeah, but he swapped. I mean, to be fair, Henry didn't play at all well in the Champions League game. He scored the winning goal. It was a wonderful header, no doubt about that. But Bergkamp has been playing well, and he's been coming off. Canu's away.
Wiltord's in
the
great
Vieira
form.
one is interesting one, Rod. There's no doubt about that. That does surprise me, but I can't see why Wenger is sitting there today. I know Vieira's, you're not for debate, but that he's not determined to win this FA Cup.
No, I'm not saying. Jeff, hang on. I'm not saying he doesn't want to win the game. What I'm saying is, I don't think he'd be terribly disappointed if they beat Bayern in the week and they go on to finish in the top 3 of the Premiership.
I think you're right, Ronnie, but I think he makes these changes, as does Alex, as does Gerard Houllier, because they can.
Yeah.
They've got, you know, enough in the squad. If they're all fit,
Roy, let me ask you this question.
And still feel good enough to be Blackburn.
You're the manager of Arsenal. Would you leave Henry and Vieira out today, honestly?
In the situation that they're in, with Champions League, plus trying to get into the Champions League for next year, FA Cup with the squad they've got, then you've got to consider it. I mean, it's gone on since I was a manager, that people are allowed to do that.
Thank you very much.
When you've got 20 people in your squad, they're still trying to win this game. I'm not for 1 minute saying they're not, but they're allowed to because they've got a great squad.
They'll miss this fellow's goals. Thierry Henry with the only goal of the game against Spartak Moscow after 82 minutes. Absolutely terrific leap at the far post, wasn't it? But the consolation for them, of course, today is that Sylvain Wiltord comes into the starting lineup, and he's scored in every round of the FA Cup so far. So not a bad fellow to come in as a sub. What did he cost? 13 million, something like that. Clive, I just want to ask you one point briefly, and maybe you, Charlie, as well. Tony Adams this week. In all my years at Highbury, he said, I believe the current squad is the best that I've been involved with. As yet, though, they've underachieved. The best Arsenal squad in Tony Adams' time, would you agree?
Well, it's quite a remarkable statement, I've got to say. I know Charlie probably disagrees with a couple of teams and squads that he's been involved with at Arsenal. Disagree. But I think Tony Adams is saying that, and that is, again, is a pointer to the reason why Arsene Wenger's picked the team that he has today, because he feels within the squad of players that he has, the team that he puts out today is capable of winning that cup tie. He's looked at the situation with the European game coming up in the midweek, and he knows that with Wiltord in the form he's in the cup, he feels that he can continue that and can score the goals that will take them through.
Charlie, agree?
Yeah, I probably would agree, but the danger is, like the squad I was involved in the 80s was great international players, but we never got the balance right. And that's the worrying trend for Arsene Wenger. I take Roy's point that Wenger is a very, very clever and talented coach, no doubt about that. But you've got to be like Ferguson, you've got to be able to put that balance together. If it doesn't get put together, you never see the benefits.
Let's get some quick predictions. We'll start with you, Charlie, then Arsenal against Blackburn.
I think Arsenal win this. I think it'll be ever so difficult, though. It could be a single goal. Wouldn't surprise me today if Thierry Henry comes off the bench to score the winner.
Roy?
Arsenal for me, again, I think they've got the quality and the depth in the squad, and I see them beating Blackburn 3-1.
Rod?
I think it's a fascinating game, Jeff. I really do. Who's watching it, by the way?
I am.
You watching it, Charlie?
I am, mate.
I think it's a fascinating game, this, and I'm going to go for Arsenal, but I'm very sort of on a fence about this. I'm going to go for Arsenal, though.
Clive?
Arsenal just.
Personality in FA Cup football in the last 16 years than Mark Hughes. 4 winners' medals in 5 finals, and today the 37-year-old Welsh team manager leads the Blackburn attack on a ground where he fought so many battles, principally for Manchester United. Also named in today's starting lineups, Arsenal's Dennis Bergkamp, who was substituted in Tuesday's Champions League match here. A decision on whether he travels by car to Munich ahead of the main squad may not be taken until Monday. With Wednesday's crunch match against Bayern in mind, Patrick Vieira rests a tight hamstring, Thierry Henry a foot injury. They're both on the bench. Martin Keown and Ray Parlour are still injured. Canu is away with Nigeria. Well, Blackburn may be a nationwide club these days, but 10 of their starting 11 have Premiership experience. The exception is number 23, Alan Mahon, who figured in Tranmere's 2 long cup runs last season. And number 4, Jason McAteer, will remember scoring here for Bolton in an FA Cup replay when they beat Arsenal 7 years ago. 9 years ago, Graham Souness managed the Liverpool team that drew a semi-final here at Highbury. He then underwent heart surgery and came out of hospital to pilot them to victory at Wembley. Jeff Winter is the referee, and if you want FA Cup tradition, well, you've got it on this pitch. The two clubs have won the Cup 13 times between them, but Blackburn haven't won it since 1928, and they haven't been in a semi-final since 1960. They're one match away here, and playing in their traditional blue and white halves from right to left in the first half. Arsenal have got... oh, it's a header from Bent straight away. Arsenal have got defenders not marking properly there. Marcus Bent, who's had a varied career, gets into some very good scoring positions, and he beat Lee Dixon in the air there in the first minute. Signed from Sheffield United for over £2 million in November, and he's got 9 goals in 20 games so far for Blackburn, Marcus Bent. I was about to say Arsenal have got Luzhny playing in the middle of the back four alongside Tony Adams. Ashley Cole at left back here, and Lauren in midfield. That's a good-looking ball to Robert Perez. Wiltord is coming in from the far side, and that's a goal! What a start for Arsenal! Sylvain Wiltord has scored in every round of the Cup, and that one took just 1 minute and 14 seconds. He got a hat-trick here last week against West Ham, but it's in the FA Cup where he's really made his mark, and look at this. Perez picking up the pass from Lauren. Wiltord, first time, what a good finish here by the Frenchman. It went round Henning Berg and gave Brad Friedel no chance. Well, in the first minute and a quarter, a chance at one end and a goal at the other. We could have a real cup tie on our hands here. The last man to score in every round up to and including the final, by the way, was Peter Osgood for Chelsea in 1970. Berkovic muscled out of it, and this is Bergkamp very much in it. Two to his right. Oh, well cut out by Mahn, otherwise Perez was in again. He still might be. He's up against Taylor. Inside to Bergkamp. Little chip! Oh, brilliant! Brilliant by Bergkamp. And fine reactions from Brad Friedel. What about this for pure skill? Doesn't need to look where the goal is, that doesn't move, but Friedel had to. Adams is up for the corner. So is Luzhny. Adams! Oh, would you believe this? 4 minutes and a half gone. Tony Adams makes it 2-0 to Arsenal. Another great cup warrior down the years. And it's just a simple goal. Arsenal specialists at corners, whether it's on a Tuesday or a Saturday. And Tony Adams meets this one from Ashley Cole. He delivered one for Henry the other night, remember. And here the Blackburn defence are just, well, they're just out-jumped. I think it was Bent who was trying to mark him. Hughes spreads that wide to Curtis. Bent up against Adams. He's got some pace as Marcus Bent. Hughes coming in here as Luzhny stretches and concedes a corner to Blackburn. And it's easily picked out by David Seaman, who casually starts an Arsenal attack by rolling the ball to Lauren. Now this is Dennis Bergkamp again. Wiltord's coming in from the far side. He's pulling away now. Has the defender seen him? He hasn't! Wiltord! Oh, the defender got back. And did he get it off the line? Or has the linesman said? He said it's a free kick anyway. McAteer, was it? Bergkamp here. Look at the way Wiltord pulls away. They're appealing for offside, and I think that's what was given, actually. What happened afterwards? McAteer hooks it out. Didn't really matter. The linesman on this side gave offside, I think correctly, against Sylvain Wiltord. Well, Wiltord is going to be a real handful for this nationwide defence. Here's Martin Taylor for Blackburn, making some ground over the halfway line. That's not a bad-looking ball to Mann. Bent's on the far side. Berkovic. Now it's Curtis. And came off Dixon initially. Oh! No penalty. Oh, Berkovic is furious. Jeff Winter was well positioned, and instead of a penalty to Blackburn, it's another attack from Arsenal with Robert Perez. And Bergkamp, and he goes down, and he doesn't get one either. We've had 2 penalty appeals in 30 seconds, and Jeff Winter has said no to both. And here's Berkovic again on the ball. Well, this has all happened in the first 15 minutes at Highbury. Here's Perez. Play on again. Wiltord into Dixon. Lowry. Bergkamp looking for Lundberg. Jeff Winter at the heart of the action here. Now this is Berkovic, challenged I think by Luzhny. Well, did he throw himself or did he have his foot caught with the initial challenge? The ball had gone. Here's Perez up against McAteer, slides it inside to Bergkamp, and well, a similar sort of thing really, but at least you can say the referee treated both sides the same. Berg. It's Mann's cross, Bent coming in with Adams. Goal kick. Considering staying at Arsenal when his contract runs out. He seems a lot happier about the transfer system since the announcement. This is Edinburgh. 2 spells with Blackburn in his career. Manchester United in between. Here's David Dunn. Oh, he's lost under a bad position for his team. This is Bergkamp to Wiltord. And Perez is unmarked on this side of the pitch. Gets it down and gets it in! Oh, that's a wonderful goal by Robert Perez. But the defenders just went to sleep and let him pull away. 36 minutes gone. It's Arsenal 3, Blackburn 0. And you'd say they were pointing towards the semi-final, wouldn't you? Look at this from Wiltord. He knows where Perez is. The problem is Taylor didn't. Perez got it down so fast and cracked that in so conclusively. It's a lovely ball from the irrepressible Wiltord. Taylor has given Perez half a yard too much, and look how well he... Oh, it's more than just a volley, isn't it? It's a placement with the inside of the foot. So precise, away from Brad Friedel. Great goal. 3-0. Game over? We'll see. Again, every time they come down this side, Blackburn are troubled. Here's Bergkamp. Oh, that wasn't so far away either. Henningberg has made a gesture to his co-defenders as if to say, why are we giving them so much room? They're being pulled all over the pitch, Blackburn, with this back 3 system. And I don't think they're going to close Arsenal down unless they get a bit of help from the wing-backs. Does he go to every single match, Sven-Göran Eriksson? I don't think I've been in a game where he hasn't been present. Adams looking for Bergkamp. And here's Wiltord, who gets the benefit of the ricochet. Finds Ljungberg. Wiltord again. Seemed to mind taking the ball in really tight areas, and there hasn't been much in the way of tight defending by Blackburn. Nationwide club being somewhat dismantled by Arsenal's overseas contingent. Wiltord in the second minute. Tony Adams after only 5, or barely 5, and then a lovely finish from Pires on 36 makes the half-time score. Arsenal 3, Blackburn Rovers 0, and it's looking like Arsenal for the semi-final. Start of the second half, 2 changes by Blackburn Rovers. On come Damien Duff, the Republic of Ireland international, and Stiging Bernabei, and they have replaced Ayo Berkovic and Alan Mahon. And I would suspect that means Blackburn are now going to play with a flat back 4. Björneby is a left back, and Duff is a left-sided midfield player. And I would imagine it's a formation that Graham Souness decided, on the evidence of the first half, badly needed changing. Arsenal start the second half against a Blackburn side who until today had lost only 1 of their last 19 matches in League and Cup. 12 wins and 6 draws. But they've certainly more than met their match. Graham Souness described Arsenal before the game as the second best team in the country, and I would imagine that performance so far underlines his view. Turn and pass by Flitcroft that went astray, but he did get the ball back. Now coming in from this side is Jason McAteer against Ashley Cole, and McAteer scores! Or does it? The flag is up, and I think they've given a handball, have they? He's holding his shirt as though he did it with his chest. The goal does not stand for Jason McAteer. Thought he'd got one here again on the ground where he did score for Bolton all those years ago. They've given a handball here. Well, it is, I suppose, hands, but Cole was the man who kicked the ball onto the hand. How do you determine that or interpret that? Well, I'll tell you how you do it. You leave it to the referee, and he says handball. So, no goal for Blackburn. Or for Jason McAteer, who looks very disappointed because he didn't intentionally handle the ball here, in as much as Cole drove it at him. Not given, though. Perez off. That is absolutely devastating. The pass wasn't quite as good. And you're talking here about a Euro 2000 winner playing against, with great respect, one of the better nationwide sides, and there is a big gap. Here's Curtis. This is Ashley Cole. And Arsenal have got players wide, but not through the middle, so Cole goes himself. And Berg steps in off, mistake, and Wiltord! Berg nearly making a present of the 4th goal to Wiltord. Got away with it, Henning Berg. Wiltord close again. That's Janssen trying to put Bent through. Seaman hasn't had much to do this afternoon in front of Sven-Goran Eriksson. He might even appreciate a little bit more hard work for the England coach to assess. Arsene Wenger's really been able to shuffle the back borders as he wants today. Dennis Bergkamp will go off now. Patrick Vieira is coming on. Also off Robert Perez. And Thierry Henry, who scored the winning goal in midweek and is indeed the top scorer with 19, is in the action. Here's Wiltord for Arsenal to Grimondi. Henry a very good trick. He's found Wiltord. French combination. The drag back there really takes him away from David Dunn and sets up Wiltord for a first-time effort here. Arsenal are conserving energy now, and you have to say that ever since they went 3 up, there's been an air of resignation about Blackburn, and here comes Cole for Arsenal. Oh, he's got by McAteer. Oh, Taylor off the line. That was an inspired run by Ashley Cole, and didn't seem to have the room, but he squeezed round McAteer on the goal line. He hasn't put a foot wrong yet, the Arsenal left back. I'm sure that's been noted. Here's Matt Jansen. Gets away from Patrick Vieira. Oh, and this is a chance for David Dunn. And it's also a chance for David Seaman to show that he's alert and alive. There's no flag here. David Dunn is through, but Seaman closes down the angle. 2 minutes of overtime to be played, but it's immaterial really, or formality in a sense. This is Vieira. Header on was by Janssen. Now this is Bent with a chance. Oh, he's hit the post. That was arguably Blackburn's best effort of the whole afternoon from Marcus Bent. It's a Janssen-Bent combination here. It's a good volley, and it ricochets back off the left-hand post of David Seaman. Didn't quite get his fingertips there, I think. Good effort from Bent. Here's Damien Duff. Janssen coming in on McAteer's cross, that's Luzhny. And Arsenal are in the semi-finals of the FA Challenge Cup for the 21st time. A match that took them less than 5 minutes to really command. 3 up at half-time, and Graham Souness's team only briefly threatening towards the end. The only time the FA Cup's gone outside of England in its long and distinguished history was in 1927, when Arsenal lost at Wembley to Cardiff City. Some Arsenal fans might feel it would be appropriate if they reclaimed the trophy in Cardiff on Saturday, May the 12th. Arsenal 3, Blackburn Rovers 0.
Arsene, you said in your programme notes that you were concerned about the underdog. You've just shown us how to play against the underdog.
Yes, I believe that we had were well tuned in and had a good start, and that made the difference today. The time Blackburn took to get into the game, it was nearly over because we had a good lead.
What sort of barometer has this game been for you? Bearing in mind where you are in the First Division, you could go up first time of asking.
Well, that's our aim. That is the priority for us. You know, it would have been lovely to get through today, but really I'd rather win on Wednesday at Birmingham than win here today, and that's the reality of it. We want to be coming to places like this every other week next year if we were to get into the Premier League. That is the big picture for us.
In '98 you didn't play in the final. Another wonderful opportunity to do it this time.
Yeah, it's a big competition, of course, and you want to get to the final, but it's going to be tough still, but we made a good step forward.
Birthday boy Garth Crooks asking the questions. What, must be 50?
At least.
Easily.
All over after about 5 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly didn't go according to script. I mean, we were expecting Blackburn to go there, sort of defend deep, get men behind the ball and frustrate Arsenal, but 2 soft goals in the first 5 minutes, and effectively as a contest it was over, and there was no way back for Blackburn. The first goal, there's lots of space on the right-hand side of it. It's a nice pass and move, and eventually comes to Perez on the right-hand side, who's in oceans of space. But there's lots of Blackburn men behind the ball here. Perez gets it, he picks it Wiltord. And we stop it here, you look at the Blackburn jerseys, lots of them there, but nobody tight, and it's a clinical finish. The second goal, there's only one person that I think is good in the air in this Arsenal lineup, and that's Tony Adams. And decent balling doesn't do a lot to score.
You mentioned Blackburn had a bit of a problem down the left-hand side. We saw that there. What was causing that?
Well, they played 3 centre-backs, and when you play 3 centre-backs, it's been well documented, the problems usually stem from the wing-backs. Sometimes they can get pinned back too far, and you play like a flat-back 5, or sometimes there's too much space, and certainly down the Arsenal right-hand side, they had tons and tons of space. The first goal was a prime example in 2 minutes, but here we have Bergkamp who picks up wide and the right. Well, he's got oceans of space again, nobody comes to him. Time and space, plays a great ball in, Wiltord's offside, but sooner or later they're going to capitalise on it. Played into Wiltord's feet, and again, the space down the right here is unbelievable. And Perez, the goal, I mean, it's a great ball in, the first touch is fantastic, but you know, if you've got a left back playing there, then it's not going to be a goal. Great finish, but when Blackburn went to a flat back 4 in the second half, there was such a better side. Arsenal breaking, and when it comes to wide and the right, Bjorneby's there. There's a man there. There's not a lot of space, and he's got to come back inside. And to be fair to Blackburn, I mean, the game was finished, but they looked a much better side in the second half, and they had 1 or 2 chances, and obviously their priority now is getting promotion to the big stuff.
Were you surprised about the way they went about it, Blackburn?
I was, yeah. But I think, as Alan said, I mean, you know, you look to change it, but you don't look to change it after 5 minutes, and it was 2-0 already. And I think a sobering aspect for Blackburn would be the fact that, you know, no Carnu, Keown, Vieira, Silvino, you know, and just 1 or 2 of those started on the bench. So obviously the priority is to get promotion for Blackburn, but they've got a long, long way to go to match anything like Arsenal.
Mind you haven't said that, they're 3-0 down, and Arsenal bring on 2 subs. Vieira and Henry.
Thank you
very much.
Easy.